With schools starting back, many parents are concerned about the rising cost of a college education. Many people look toward their retirement funds to pay for higher education. Garrison the Third from Preservation Financial is here this morning to let us know if that's a smart move for you and your family. Davis, appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
I know I'm staring this down the barrel here in a few years is how to pay for college education. This is one avenue you can take, but is it good for you? I guess that's the answer, the question I have for you today.
Overall, it should be used only as a last resort. And there's an exception in the code that you can withdraw money from your IRA, SEP, or simple IRA in order to fund higher education.
Right.
There are drawbacks to it. You cannot borrow from an employer plan like a 401k, just an IRA, and it allows you to withdraw for higher education expenses prior to age 59 and a half, and therefore avoiding the 10% penalty that you incur for any other reason. A distribution from an IRA, you got to pay taxes on it because it's growing tax deferred.
Right.
The distribution also must be made in the year that the expenses are incurred. And the expenses that are covered are out-of-pocket expenses. And that is reduced by any financial aid, grants, that type of thing. Qualified education expenses can include tuition, room and board, books, fees, that type of thing. Also, computers, related technology to computers are qualified expenses, even if they're not required by the school. So that's a plus. The exception to the IRA usage applies to children, your spouse, grandchildren of either spouse.
Right.
So it's pretty wide ranging. Grandparents could use this to satisfy their required minimum distributions from their IRAs. But the biggest question is, should you use a retirement plan to fund higher education?
Right.
As I said, only as a last resort, because it is the contribution limits. If you're under age 50, you can only contribute $5,500 a year to your IRA. Over 50, $6,500 a year. And as you know, with the cost of college, you're not going to catch up. You're going to dig a hole that you're never going to get out of. And
it also sounds like, and let me ask you this, because you mentioned something just a moment ago, you can only use those funds for that particular year. So that means that each year that student's in school, you're going to have to go back and make another withdrawal for each one of those years.
Correct.
So that in itself is kind of a detriment. You can't go just take the entire, figure out 4 years of college and figure out how much you're going to need. You have to go each year and do that.
Year by year, 1 year at a time. And a friend once said to me, you can borrow to finance college.
You can.
You can't borrow to finance retirement.
No, I don't know anybody that makes those loans. No, I really don't.
No, you can't. You can't borrow out from your IRA to buy food, rent, that type of thing.
So you got to really sit down and think about this. I mean, it like you said, it is a last resort when you've got that IRA right there, because that's another thing. I want to mention that again. You cannot do that with a 401k.
No.
You cannot do that, but just an IRA. But you've really got, because once you start digging that hole, that money's pretty much gone.
Yes, and you're giving up, in a tax-deferred vehicle, you're giving up triple compounding.
Wow.
Einstein called compounding the eighth wonder of the world, because your principal compounds, your interest compounds, and the taxes that you're not paying compound. So you're giving up really a lot. A lot
of time, a lot of money, a lot of interest.
Exactly.
All right, Garrison the Third, always great information, my friend. If you need information like that, you need to come see him at Preservation Financial Group right here in Johnson City. And we'll be back with more Daytime in just a moment.